the final tonight. And the best team in baseball wins it all in 2018.
For the first hit. Rutschman into right field. Down the line. A fair ball. Adley will turn first. Head for second. He's going to turn second. Go for third. Rutschman into third base standing. An extra base hit. His first hit in the major leagues. Welcome to the...
These are long pitch innings. I think Blister, that's what you were to make sure.
Here's a high fly ball into right. Back his bat's on the move. On the track. He's got it. What a catch by Mookie Betts.
Now, Clifford looking for a clean inning here in the seventh. Hit well out to right center field. Jones still on the move, running out of room, and he made it!
Hey guys, welcome back to Beyond the Ballpark. As always, I'm your host, Patrick Moran, and today we're going to talk about the Miami Marlins. Pretty good team this year in 2023. We'll be breaking it all down for you, from players to jerseys and to where this organization is going. We'll give you all that right here on Beyond the Ballpark. As always, drop us a follow on wherever you are listening to your podcast. We would greatly appreciate a good review and follow. Get some merchandise. That'll be in the description as well. Got some great stuff over there if you want to rep your favorite podcast. And we're on Twitter and Instagram, so follow us over there as well. We greatly appreciate that. I'll try and get more stuff on Instagram. I know I haven't really been active on our account over there, but I will be very, very soon. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the Marlins today. Should be pretty good. This is one of the two teams left in the team series. The Mets will be coming very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. Without further ado, let's get into it. So at catcher, the Marlins are going to be rocking Nick Fortes. They have Jacob Stallings as well. He was acquired from the Pirates ahead of the 2022 season. But Nick Fortes is getting most of the reps in 190 at bats. He's got 211 average. 4 homers, 18 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, and a 549 OPS. The Marlins catching situation isn't super impressive from my takeaways. Nick Fortes not the best hitter, but I don't think the Marlins are really a team that needs to prioritize their catching position. And he's done a fine job as a 26-year-old. And the sample does look better in about 438 at bats. 17 homers is pretty good from the catcher position in that span. So, I don't know. Nick is just an okay young player, I think, and I don't know, maybe get somewhere with the Marlins, but I do expect him getting most of the reps, especially with Jacob Stallings not really being the everyday guy that they were trading for back in the day. So, you can definitely expect to see Nick Fortes behind the plate most of the days for the Marlins. Next up, we got at first base, we got Garrett Cooper. Garrett Cooper was an all-star last year. I do not believe he is this year. But that is okay. He is still a pretty solid first baseman for this Marlins team. In 263 at-bats, he has a 262 average, 12 homers, 43 RBIs, 0 stolen bases, and a 751 OPS. He's just very solid. I think he has a pretty solid game over at the first base position, and obviously the glove doesn't really matter at a position like that. But, got a decent pop. He hits for an okay average. I think Garrett Cooper is just a nice little player. And, he's not a guy that you want to build your offense around, but is definitely a guy that can contribute a little bit on a good team, which the Marlins are right now. But we'll talk about that a little later. So, yeah, I think Garrett Cooper is a nice little player for the Marlins. As base, it is not Jazz Chisholm. I know a lot of people would think it's Jazz Chisholm Jr. with that flair. But it is not. It is Luis Arraez. And a very surprised player this year. Expected him to be an MVP candidate. We all expected him to be kind of just a good hitter for the Marlins. But he's really burst onto the scene, I think. In 329 at-bats, he has a 383 average, 3 homers, 42 RBIs, a stolen base, and a 905 OPS. He is chasing history, folks. He is trying to become the first hitter to hit 400 for an entire season since Ted Williams. And that is very, very hard. There is a reason that record has stood for a very, very long time. Is because that is nearly impossible to get a hit 40% of the time in Major League Baseball. But Luis Arraez is trying to do it, and it's pretty impressive. Was in a mutually beneficial trade, kind of, between the Twins and the Marlins. He was traded for Pablo Lopez. Those were kind of the main players in that deal. There's some younger players in that deal, but obviously it was surrounded by Pablo Lopez and Luis Arraez, and both of them are all-stars on their brand new team. So this is probably one of the best trades we've seen in the modern era. I mean, the Twins got an arm that they could, that they're really benefiting from, and that's helping them, play 500 ball in the AL Central. And then Marlins got their hitter in Luis Arraez, and they really needed a guy to kickstart the offense because offense had been weak past few years, and it was just a good trade to make for both of these teams. And Luis Arraez, crazily enough, is chasing history. So we'll keep a tab on that throughout the entirety of the season. He is definitely making a bid on Acuna Jr. an MVP caliber season. Next up, at the shortstop position, a little bit unlikely, but the Marlins had kind of a lot of second basemen on the roster. It's going to be Joey Wendle. Joey Wendle's been handling some shortstop duties this year for this team. There are a couple different options. I think they've kind of been trying to filter through their players and see who fits best, and it's going to be Joey Wendle. He was acquired from the Tampa Bay Rays a couple seasons ago. He's been in Miami for a little bit now. If you look back, he was traded in the 2021 offseason, so he's been a Marlin for about 2 seasons now. Joey Wendle, kind of a scrappy player a little bit, and definitely a guy that the Rays had to float a little bit because of Wander Franco, being in that middle infield. And they were able to ship him off to Miami. And Joey Wendle's been a little bit of a productive player. I think he's better in that utility man role rather than, everyday, shortstop guy. But, he's held his own. And 163 at-bats. He's a 276 average, a homer, 9 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, and a 711 OPS. He's not... Literally nothing jumps off the page. He's not excelling at anything, but he's a fine player. He's a good player to have. He's a nice piece. I don't know what the Marlins' plan with him is because he's 33 years old, but I don't know. We'll see. It should be interesting to see where Joey Wendle goes in the future. And I also believe that he is a free agent soon, so that is also something to keep in mind. At the third base position, this is an off-season acquisition via free agency, unlike Luis Arraez. It's going to be Jean Segura, and Jean Segura hasn't really been that good this year. In 250 at-bats, 216 average, 2 homers, 16 RBIs, 6 stolen bases, and a 546 OPS. He was kind of just expected to be that guy who's just kind of good at everything. He's probably one of the most well-rounded players in baseball, and he hasn't really been that for the Marlins. He's been very viciously underwhelming. But, you never know. There's still a good player somewhere inside of Jean Segura. We saw it last year with the Philadelphia Phillies on their World Series run being their second baseman, which was pretty cool, I'm sure, for him. And not really third baseman by trade. Like I said, the Marlins have a second baseman. He's one of them, but he's gotten the reps over there at third. I don't really think he's suited there. It's kind of an organizational choice. And, he's a fine player. I know he's been underwhelming this year, but we know that there's a good player inside of Jean Segura. And definitely, I don't know, maybe let's try and move him after this underwhelming start to the year. And maybe this wasn't the best fit for him. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Jean Segura. Now in left field, kind of one of the more underrated players in baseball, in my opinion. This is a really good young player, Brian De La Cruz. Brian De La Cruz has got some good... talent. And 333 at-bats, he has 279 average, 10 homers, 49 RBI. Just only missing a 754 OPS. He's a solid little player out there in Miami, and gotten at the 2021 trade deadline in the Yimi Garcia trade, I believe, was a right-handed reliever. He's now with Toronto, so that trade for Houston didn't really matter in the long run. But, the Marlins got a really good young outfielder here in Brian De La Cruz. I like him moving forward. He had shown sparks before, but this year he's getting that consistent playing time, and he's maximizing it. He's getting them. He's taking it and running with it. So he's a nice little player. Definitely a guy to keep an eye out for on like fantasy squads, I think. I don't think he has the most impressive plate discipline last time I checked. But definitely a guy that, if you're in dire need of an outfielder, Brian De La Cruz could be your guy. And, has some decent pop, can drive in some runs. He's really good for this Marlins team in left field. Now in center field, you got Jazz Chisholm Jr., the player, but hurt right now. I'll still give you the stats for Jazz Chisholm. Definitely a little bit of a different year for him adjusting to center field. He's another second baseman, but with all the second basemen that the Marlins kind of collected a little bit, he got moved to center field because of the range, and he hasn't looked the best out there, but it's kind of understandable, kind of trying to adjust to a new position. On 167 at-bats, 246 average, 9 homers, 21 RBIs, 14 stolen bases, and 745 OPS. He's a really solid player, and he's one of the electric young players in the game. Definitely has a tendency to get hurt, which can definitely hurt him a little bit. No pun intended. But we know the talent's there. A lot of baseball fans know how electric he is, and he's definitely the centerpiece of this Marlins team. You could also shout out John Bruni in 232 at-bats, 272 average, 2 homers, 17 RBIs, 9 stolen bases, and a 661 OPS. This guy's super fast. He's like one of the faster guys in Major League Baseball. He led Major League Baseball in stolen bases, I believe, last year, and he could definitely swipe a lot of them. He'd swipe it with the best of them. Okay average guy, little to no pop, and fine OPS. He's just a nice, depth piece, and a great pinch runner as well, with that speed. But yeah, you could give him an honorable mention with the Marlins because he's gotten some of the reps in center field as well. And then not least in right field, to round out the outfield, we have Jesus Sanchez, who's also another really good player. He's kind of like Brian De La Cruz a little bit. 183 at-bats, 257 average, 9 homers, 32 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, and a 798 OPS. He has nearly an 800 OPS, and not a lot of people are talking about him. I think that's pretty impressive from Jesus Sanchez. Former top prospect, so he does have that prospect pedigree, and he's finally showing it out at the big league level, which is good for the Marlins. They definitely need that offense, and if he keeps doing this, Marlins are going to be in a good position. I think this Marlins outfield's pretty good. Jesus Sanchez is probably the best player in the Marlins outfield right now, and it's good to see him getting off strong with this Marlins team in the outfield. And then at DH, we have an all-star. I mean, Luis Arraez was an all-star, but we have Jorge Soler, former World Series MVP with the Atlanta Braves back in 2021 at 319 at-bats. Got a 254 average, 23 homers, 51 RBIs, a stolen bag, and an 877 OPS. This dude just knows how to just hit moonshots. This guy has all the power in the world. He is jacked. He had like 50-something homers with the Royals back in 2019, which is just insane. There's a huge, big-time power hitter. A bit underwhelming last year with the Marlins, for sure, but he's definitely turned it around this year and reminding everyone that he is probably one of the best power hitters in the game. So, yeah, very, very nice sophomore season in Miami for Jorge Soler at 31 years old. And now we move on to the starting rotation. And this is where the Marlins thrive. This is definitely their spot. They know how to develop pitchers, and they know how to develop pitchers really, really well. And at the helm of this rotation, although he's not having the greatest season, coming off a Cy Young season, Sandy Alcantara. And in 18 games this year, he's 3-7 with a 4.72 ERA, 114 in the third innings, 94 strikeouts, and a 1.25 WHIP. Not the Cy Young that we were expecting, not that innings eater that we were expecting. But it seems like he's turning a bit of a corner here with the Marlins. We'll see what happens in the second half with him. Obviously, he's the reigning Cy Young winner, as I mentioned. Won it last year, and everyone saw it. He pitched the most innings in Major League Baseball. He knows how to strike out. He just has a lot of pitches in the repertoire that he can come at you with. Sandy Alcantara is one of the better pitchers in the game, even kind of with these down season numbers. And I think we can expect him to turn around in the second half. Next up, kind of a surprise a little bit, Jesus Luzardo coming out here. Now, Jesus Luzardo, the story behind him, former A's top prospect, one of the best left-handed pitching prospects in the game formerly, and then shipped out to Miami for Starling Marte at the 2021 trade deadline. And the Marlins got him back, and he's looking better than ever with the Marlins in 2023. It seems like he's finally found his footing, and seems like he's found that top prospect that he once was. 19 games, he's 8-5 with a 3.29 ERA, 109 in the third innings, and 129 strikeouts, and a 1.13 whip. That is fantastic from a guy like Jesus Luzardo, and at 25 years old, seems like he's starting to figure it out. And this is looking like a really good trade for the Marlins, and obviously Marte did not stay with the Oakland Athletics after that trade. He went on to go to the New York Mets, but Jesus Luzardo is looking like a fantastic piece and a frontline starter for this Marlins team, and showing us that top left-handed pitching prospect that he once was. Now, in the number 3 spot, I know he's hurt, but I think Edward Cabrera is kind of that guy. A little bit rough with the ERA, kind of like Sandy Alcantara, but he has a very, very electric arm. 14 games this year, 5-5 record with a 4.70 ERA, 67 innings pitched, 84 strikeouts, and 1.40 whip. Not the best whip, but again, like I said, this guy has some electric stuff. Another former top prospect in the game, and he is a homegrown guy for the Miami Marlins. He still has some time to figure it out at 25 years old, but if you watch this guy pitch, you know that the stuff is electric, and I have confidence that he's going to be able to figure it out sooner than later. Next up on the list is Johnny Cueto, who is actually recently reinstated from a 60-day IL. I'll give him his stats from last year, because this year very, very limited in the time that he's pitched. Last year with the Chicago White Sox, he went 8-10 with a 3.35 ERA. 25 games, 24 of them were starts. He threw one complete game, which is pretty impressive. He pitched 158 in the third innings, 161 hits, 66 runs, 59 of them were earned. He gave up 15 home runs. Opponents hit 267 off him, and he had 30 walks, and he had 98 strikeouts. So it was definitely a solid pitcher to bring in for this Marlins team. This is a good veteran arm. He's 36 years old. I believe they brought him in on a 1-year deal, so he'll be out of there after the season, unless the Marlins bring him back, which I don't know if they will, because he's been hurt for a lot of this year. But we'll see. But it's a good veteran arm to kind of add to a young team, and he can definitely have some leadership for Miami. And then last but not least, we got Braxton Garrett. I believe he was a Marlins top 30 guy. Maybe not a top 100 guy on a lot of lists, but was definitely a good pitching arm in the Marlins organization. In 18 games this year, he's got a 5-2 record with 3.70 ERA, 92 in the third innings, 101 strikeouts, and a 1.14 whip. He has been really solid, I think, at the back end of this Marlins rotation. And it's like I said, the Marlins, they know pitching, they know how to develop pitchers, and Braxton Garrett is definitely a product of that, and he has been really solid in that number 5 spot for Miami. Just a shout out Brian Hoeing. He's kind of been taking some starts in place of Edward Cabrera. Like I said, Edward Cabrera's hurt. He's had some limited time. He's kind of been that hybrid starter. Shout out to him. I'll move on to the bullpen. We got 3 arms. They have a lot of arms out there that they trust in and have developed pretty well. Kind of taking some flyers on some guys, trading. The Marlins know how to get creative, and they're definitely showing it in their pen. The closer, I think, is A.J. Puck. In 30 games this year, he's got a 4-3 record, 4.03 ERA. In 29 innings, he has 36 strikeouts and 1.14 whip. Another former Oakland A, coincidentally, along with Jesus Luzardo. He was a really highly touted prospect in the Oakland A's system a while back. He's kind of had that. He's just kind of turned into a back end reliever, set up closer type guy. So But it's working out pretty well for him. He's definitely finding success in Miami. He was traded from the A's to the Marlins for J.J. Bleday. So the A's have J.J. Bleday, former first pick from a couple years ago, and it wasn't working out for J.J. Bleday in Miami. So good for them to get A.J. Puck, kind of first rounder here in that trade. So yeah, A.J. Puck has been pretty good. Next up, we got Dylan Floro on the list. Dylan Floro kind of feels like he's been around for a long time, but only 32 years old. And he's a veteran arm that the Marlins have in 39 games, 3-4 record, 4.37 ERA, 35 innings, 37 strikeouts, and 1.43 whip. Dylan Floro is just a good veteran arm that you can throw into the bullpen. He's a bit flexible, I think, and he's got some good stuff. So I believe he came over from the Dodgers, is where the Marlins obtained him back in 2020. So, yeah, this is a good veteran arm in the pen. And veteran leadership always matters, no matter where it is on the diamond. So, yeah. Dylan Floro, nice arm for the Marlins. Last but not least, a former friend of mine. I know this man very well, Tanner Scott. I'll be able to have more insight on him. Tanner Scott has been really good this year for the Miami Marlins. 43 games, 4-2 record, 2.91 ERA, 43 and a third innings, 64 strikeouts, and 1.08 whip. I'm really happy to see Tanner Scott, performing well. And back when he was with the Orioles, he had this electric stuff. He threw really hard, but sometimes didn't know where it was going. We traded him, I believe, ahead of the 2022 season to the Marlins, along with Cole Sulser. Cole Sulser didn't stick in Miami. I believe he's in Arizona or wherever he is at this moment in time. But yeah, Tanner Scott's really good. I'm happy that he's figuring it out. Kind of a late bloomer a little bit. And I'm happy to see him having a really solid season with this Marlins team. We didn't really get much back, but it was all right. I mean, we know how to develop bullpen arms. So, all right, and now the top prospect segment, the moment you've all been waiting for. I know you guys want to hear about the future of the Miami Marlins with me. And speaking of prospects, I'll be doing some draft coverage on the podcast. I apologize if it comes out like a little ways after the draft, but I'll try and watch some film on all the first rounders. And if you guys just stick with me, I'd greatly appreciate that. And I'll get you guys some draft coverage if you guys are interested in that. So yeah, Max Meyer, he got hurt. He got Tommy John, which is very unfortunate. But this guy has been kind of regarded as one of the better guys for this Marlins team. He's really something special. He's got a 60-grade fastball, 70-grade slider, 55-grade changeup, 50 control, and a 55 overall. I'm going to be pipeline. He was the third overall pick in 2020 by the Miami Marlins. Some thought it was a little bit aggressive because he only has 3 pitches, and that's kind of that reliever risk in him. But, again, the Marlins know what they're doing, and I have confidence that they're going to be able to turn him into a starter. And, this guy's just really good. Really don't give him any stats because he hasn't pitched since 2022, but we'll give you the 2022 stats. In AA and AAA. Oh, wait, that was last year. In AAA mostly, in 2022, 3-4 record, 3.72 ERA, 12 starts, 58 innings, 39 hits, 5 runs, 5 homers, 19 walks, 65 strikeouts. Opponents were hitting 188 against him. Yeah, Max Meyer is a pretty electric arm in this Marlins organization, and definitely a big part of their future. Now let's talk about the jerseys. The Marlins, I love their jerseys. I gave them a 9.5 out of 10. I just always love them. They're some of my favorites in the game ever since they did the rebrand. I've just thought they look fantastic. Number 5 is away. Pretty standard on our podcast. We always put the away jersey number 5 unless it's one of the better ones, unless it's really nice. But yeah, this away jersey is a little bit bland. It's just gray. It's just a gray version of the home jersey, which is up next. Both of them are pretty simple. They say Miami across the front. The alternates is where they get it going. But, they're not bad, and I love the Marlins stuff, so I'm not trying to say that they're bad jerseys. I mean, probably that away jersey is better than some jerseys and better than some teams' best jerseys in Major League Baseball, but they do wind up at the back end. This is tough because I think the City Connect is amazing, and that is like one of the best City Connects. But I have it coming in here at number 3. The Sugar Kings of Miami got the white pinstripes, the nice bold red, and the powder blue. It looks fantastic. It's unbelievable. It's awesome. It's close to perfection. It's so nice, and you gotta love it. Next, I got the alternate one, kind of going. They brought it back this year. Giving a shout out to the old school Florida Marlins, and it's really good. It is a really, really good jersey for sure. Got the teal and the white and the black, really, really nice, and it's good to see that they brought it back. But last but not least, at number 1, I have alternate 2. Alternate 2, I think, is amazing. It's just so nice, black, and you got the Marlin vibrance on it. It's really, really good, and I think it's their best jersey without a doubt. Like I said, 9.5 out of 10. I love these jerseys a lot. Since when they did the rebrand, I fell in love with these, and I still feel the same way about them. These jerseys are just fantastic. So that is my take on their jerseys. And then my favorite player, Tanner Scott. Like I said, former Oriole. Always got to show him some love out here. And Tanner Scott has been really good for them, like I said. So now let's just strictly talk about where the Marlins are at this year in terms of production. They're really good. They've been performing really well overall this year. If you look at the standings, they're in second place in this NL East. They're 53-39 with a .576 winning percentage, 8.5 games out. I don't really think they're gonna, be flying it on Atlanta for the division, but they certainly do have a good shot at the wild card. They currently have the first wild card spot in the National League, right ahead of Arizona and San Francisco, which is pretty awesome. It's good to see the Marlins are having success. I think we've kind of waited for them to kind of be successful as an organization and as a team, and it's finally shown this year. I think that that young talent's finally coming up, and this is the team that we're waiting for. So great for the Marlins. And that is going to be it on the Miami Marlins for this episode. That is all I have to give you guys. If you guys did enjoy it, please follow us on whatever platform you use, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We would greatly appreciate that. So you can stay up to date on episodes coming out and news on Beyond the Ballpark. And that's all I got. We'll see you next time.